Okay, chapter 15 is actually this one right here. Mobile malware and application-based threats. Okay, they start off talking about Android. And I actually asked the questions this morning. How many of you have an iPhone? And quite a few of them raised their hand. I said, how many of you have an Android phone that's infected with 97% of the viruses out there? And they're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Then they all lowered their hands. It was pretty funny, but it says there, 90% of all malware is targeted toward Android devices. Why is that?
Because it's open source.
It's open source. That's the big issue. Okay. The OS is secure, but the problem is it's an open source for app development, which kind of sucks. Okay. It says susceptible to malware, which we know because software fragmentation. Just lots of issues in that aspect of it. Google does a decent job of fixing them, but the problem is there's so many because so many people can write so much stuff. Okay, why can't I go next?
But doesn't Apple also let a lot of their own opinions declare on who's going to get an Apple?
Right, and actually, you got a very good point there.
Real wrong.
Right. Windows is the same thing, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But when you look at it, people have appealed Apple's decision and have got their apps released and actually have got apps pulled as well. But, so what do you do? Just allow everybody to put crap up there or at least have someone making the decision? That's the one way you can look at it. Yeah, Apple might be using their own opinions and might be blocking some legitimate stuff, but at least they're not getting a ton of crap. So, you got to look at it either way. Okay. Since Google must identify vulnerabilities and they must secure them and then make them available. But again, it's up to the application developers to implement it. And another issue with Android, they don't really mention it here, is the updates. What is it? Like Android phones, you get about, a year and a half of updates, and then that's it. You can't upgrade it to the latest Jelly Bean or whatever the hell it is. So you're stuck. So even if Google did fix the problem, you can't use the fix. So it kind of sucks.
You can upgrade
Not all of them. Are you still stuck at this again?
Yeah, because look.
Hold on a second. Let me pause this.
Samsung, you can.
All right. I don't know what we were just talking about. But all right, let's continue on. So there are a lot of... you were talking about how you can upgrade. I know Virginia owned one of them, Samsung, whatever the hell, Captivate or something, and she couldn't upgrade.
To the Samsung Galaxies and the Motorola's, you can.
You can upgrade more? Okay.
You can upgrade the operating system.
Okay. See, it's actually... The problem is Google works on so many different hardware devices, where Apple doesn't. They work on just theirs. So, it's a flaw in Google, but it's also a flaw in Apple. You're kind of stuck with what they give you, but they can make fixes based on something they know about.
But to me, Apple limits the users, though.
They do. But when you look at it to the point of, okay, what do you do on your phone or your tablet or your whatever? What can you not do on it? So many people say, oh yeah, but I can root it. But have you? Well, no. Okay, it's like, then it's a moot point. If, for what I do, this device is better for me. But is it the best for you? I don't know that answer. So, all right. But when it comes to malware, obviously, Android's the winner of getting the most. Okay. Says security experts suspect broad collaboration. That's been out there for a long time. What they're saying is a lot of these criminals figure something out and share it amongst each other. Okay? That's what they're talking about. And I like what they call mobile adware, madware. I just think that's an awesome name. I just love it. But this whole potentially unwanted applications, that's been around for years. It's around on PCs. It's around on everything. It's around on Macs. So it's pretty much everywhere. So that's obviously a very big issue. Okay. It says game structures are morphed, taking over. And hell, we got China, we got Russia, we got everybody who is just going crazy with all this stuff. They do it to use denial of service. They do it to capture stuff on your phone. There's just so much stuff out there. When we get to the Windows one, you'll see they actually do some better stuff than others to prevent it. Okay. Gain access to your GPS. Okay. Do you guys use the push mail on your phones? Okay. Does everybody use it in there? One doesn't. I don't use it. Unless I'm expecting something. But why don't I use it? Anyone know?
I don't, because security reasons.
Well, it saves battery is my big issue. Is the push. Your phone's keeping getting stuff. And plus I hate it when in the middle of the night my phone goes off. It's like, ugh, so I don't turn it on. But that's just one reason for it. A lot of GPS-enabled devices, I use it for my camera, but they drain your battery like crazy. My phone will last 2 full days easy, sometimes into the 3rd day. Yes.
So I mean, I've never had an iPhone, but I know like on the Galaxies you can open up what's called the developer option to change settings so that you can save even more on your battery.
Yes, you can do the same thing. Okay. I can go in there for each device and say allow contacts or allow or GPS or allow this, but they're going to talk about here in a minute. But it's really up to the users. We have a lot of idiots out there. Virginia's mother is my mother-in-law is the worst. She can't do a damn thing on her phone. It's like, why do you have a Samsung? You can't even do text messaging on it. She needs a phone that very basic, and it's crazy. But a lot of people do. They try to access your GPS. And that location-based advertisement is, that's becoming more and more. If you look at stuff, we get a lot of free stuff out there, a lot of free apps. Well, how are they developed? Well, based on advertisements. So you kind of got to let some of that stuff in, but, it's tough, okay? Gaining control over your file systems to steal your data, your photos, unlock your device. There's actually an article on Gizmodo this morning about how it affects even iPhones. There's a flaw in a website that actually, if you're connected to this Wi-Fi, it automatically keeps rebooting your device. So I was reading about that this morning. It's just crazy the amount of stuff out there. How many of you leave Wi-Fi on all the time? I do.
On the phone?
On your phone.
Oh, no.
I do because I use it here. I use it at home. And if I turn it off, I get somewhere and I forget to turn it on. It's like, damn, why is this slow? Or why can I connect it? Like, I have a Logitech remote at home. And when I have a Logitech Harmony remote, I love them. They're wonderful. I also have an Apple TV. But to control them with my phone, it has to be internal to the network. So if my Wi-Fi is off, I'm not internal to the network, which means I can't connect. So I tend to leave mine on all the time. But again, that kills battery, and it is a vulnerability. But it's something I know about and I'm willing to live with, okay? You can also gain control of features such as camera, microphone. There's actually a lot of applications out there that there was a big news story about how you can get this installed where people can see everything you're doing. And I watched the show, currently watch the show, A Person of Interest. Anyone ever seen that show? Pretty good show. And they basically bluejack everybody's phone and listen to all their stuff. Again, a lot of that's far-fetched, but it's somewhat based on real stuff, okay? So cyber criminals who their goals are to get your stuff, okay? I ran an ISP for years, internet service provider. I hosted a lot of websites, and I gave churches free websites. I'm like, no problem, free websites for whatever church wanted it. It was funny. One day, all of a sudden, this is back in the, I'd say, around the year 2000. Remember when hard drives were expensive? Okay, I had 250 gig hard drives. Back then, that was big. They were darn expensive. But all of a sudden, I ran out of server space. I'm like, what the heck? Well, prior to server 2004, I think it was, or 2003, whatever version was back then, the default setting of an FTP site was to allow anonymous FTP. And if you turn that off, it actually warned you, whoa, are you sure you want to turn this off? Because now you're going to be requiring a username and password. Well, what had happened was someone got into this church, and I forgot to turn off the anonymous FTP, and I became a wear site for all the Star Wars movies. That's when all the Star Wars movies were coming out. Someone was hosting them on my darn server. It's like, what? I had everything on there. I'm like, what? And I delete stuff, boom, they were full again. I ended up finding a bunch of connections to my machine. So they do it for data storage. So it was, drove me crazy. And what sucked was they did it with a directory structure that I could not navigate to. So I couldn't, in Explorer, go here. I couldn't get to it. It was locked out, and it was like, sucked. Okay. All right. So they might want to weaken controls. It could be an insufficient protocol. It could be poor authentication. Passwords is a really, really, really big deal. So many people suck at it. So what do you guys use for password management? There's anyone who doesn't use password management? You have to nowadays. You have to. Because how many webs or places do you guys have access to? Do you need username and password? I would say at least 100. At least. You can't remember that stuff anymore. It's impossible. And if you don't have something to manage passwords, that means you're writing them down or they're easy. So proper authentication or poor authentication is a really, really big issue. Data leakage, that can be anything from your GPS coordinates on your pictures to geotagging to all kinds of different stuff. And that's what they want to do. They want to get into your stuff and find your stuff. It says poorly implemented encryption. OpenSSL, a great tool. Everybody used it until they found out there was a flaw in it. So, maybe you implemented it correctly, but there was a flaw in the system. Okay. How about sensitive data disclosure? Tinker, you cannot put in a flash drive on anything. Why'd they do that? For security. To prevent you from sticking in a flash drive and copying it to it. Did anyone ever put a flash drive in your computer and then you go look in your My Computer and you got like 12 drives and you're like, crap, which one's the flash drive? I have that problem all the time. And copy it to the wrong device, so then Tinker disables those totally. Okay, malware, I just think that's awesome. Mobile adware. It's aggressive adware that is prevalent on mobile devices. Cameron, that was funny. The reason Cameron does not want an iPhone is because he hates ads. Totally hates ads. And on iPhone, some free apps have ads on them. It's a fact of life. The advertisers got to get money. But with Android, you can basically block those. You can run ad blocker and you can block the ads. Does anyone use ad blocker on their web browser? Oh, I use it all the time. It's amazing. Except some sites it doesn't work on. But so, like I said here, developers consider mobile adware to be harmless and legitimate. They want to get their money. If you write an application, you got to get paid somehow. And if you're giving out a free application, how are you going to get your money? So it's coming from somewhere. That's why a lot of people think, Facebook is free. Is Facebook truly free? No, because there's tons of ads everywhere. So, So some free applications are not. They run background processes that access your GPS, access your address book, send out stolen data via HTTP, just all kinds of different stuff. And the bottom one. Developers maintain that the terms of use have been stated and the user's permission is required. What that means is you got someone, man, I really want to play this game. I'm going to say yes, whatever it takes to play this game. I must have access to your pictures. Okay, fine. I must have access to whatever. That's what people do. The developer says, I asked them and they gave me permission. But do they really know what the hell they're talking about? Okay. And the big issue is they don't know. Okay, they really don't know. Okay. So some apps ask for permission to many services they don't need. Here's a great example. A flashlight app wants to retrieve a list of running applications. Why would it need that? Why would a flashlight need the ability to access your USB storage? It shouldn't. Okay? But a lot of them have it built in. I did a search a few years back on adware on computers. And they were saying like 94% of the adware out there had the ability to be a keylogger. Didn't mean they were. They just had the ability to be a keylogger. Same kind of thing here. Why would the flashlight need the ability to access your USB drive? Maybe it doesn't now, but it might later. And once they get it on your device, it's easier for them to update it. Okay. It's suspicious when refusals of these permissions has no effect on the execution. So if I'm installing this flashlight and I tell it, no, you cannot access my USB drive and it still works fine, then it makes you wonder, why were they doing it to begin with? Why was it there? Okay. They also talk about different modules. One module doing one thing, one module doing another. Okay. Kind of scary stuff. Now Apple, we just went through 8 slides on Android. Let's see what we got for Apple. This is very little iOS malware. It's been out there since 2015. They did say little because there are some out there. Okay. Based on their secure system. Okay. There's this Trojan that was out there in Hong Kong. And the last bullet's probably the reason why. 50% have been jailbroken. Okay. Even 8.4, which if I remember right, is not out yet. What OS are we at on April? Is it 8.3.1 or something?
I think so.
8.4 has already been jailbroken. 8.4 is not even out yet. It's been jailbroken. So what that means is there's flaws, and that people can use, and it's just scary. But since so many people jailbreak their phones, now they're getting infected with stuff. Okay, Windows Phone, no confirmed instances. They also need another bullet that says no confirmed number of people actually using their phones. Oh no, we have one, I think. There's a few people use them. Okay. They're pretty much like Apple. They're sandboxed apart from each other. They need digital signing. But the last bullet there, not allowing silent calls or SMS text messaging. You ever have those apps that send text messages for you? They don't allow that, which is kind of a cool feature. I brought my car into Huderberg Tuesday because warranty about the struts on my back. I guess in some volts out there, the struts give way and the top will fall on your head. Whatever. So they were fixing it for free. But I had an appointment scheduled for Tuesday. So Monday, I got an auto voicemail. My phone didn't ring. It automatically went into my voicemail. And then I got a text message. Then I got an email. Then about an hour later, I got an actual phone call. It's like, holy crap, It was obviously they have an automatic notification system. A lot of apps do the same thing. The big one now is I have an app on there called Calorie Counter. And it's like, give us permission to post on your behalf every time you eat something. No. Or every time you weigh yourself. No. Or every time you don't weigh yourself. No. It's like, why would you do that? Back when my boys lived at home, they were younger, there was an app called XXX Church. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Basically, it's an accountability application for surfing the web. What it would do is it knew of bad websites out there, and when you install this, you have to give it someone's name, maybe your preacher or a good friend, and whenever you surfed a website that was potentially bad, it just sent them a message. Hey, Nick over there was surfing this porn website. It's just an accountability partner is all it was. But the same kind of thing, that's the same thing as sending notifications on your behalf. And a lot more of those programs want to do that. A lot of the games do. Because, hell, you look on Facebook, so-and-so just earned another whatever the hell, or just clicked the brownie, and it's like, they didn't post that. Who would be it's being done automatically. So, all right. So, and one more thing about that is kind of funny, because most of my friends that auto-post those, they don't even know they're doing it, because they don't know how to turn it off. They don't even realize it. So, all right, delivery methods. Through programs, through an affiliate programs. A lot of them come through free apps, through an app store. Okay, it's creating web pages with drive-by downloads. You go to some web page and auto tries to install stuff. That's one of the biggest issues right now. Okay, it says using a high beta track with a dual payload to target both PCs and smartphones. I don't know if you realize this, but when you surf a website, they can actually determine what you're using. A PC, a Mac, a Windows, or whatever, even what version, and they can deliver different content to you based on that. So what if you made something that worked both for PCs and smartphones and whatever? What I used to do years ago. Ever been to Fandango? For movie listings. It's great for movie listings. But when the internet was slower, they started putting a lot of ads and videos on there, and it was so slow. But if you went to their mobile site, actually, it might still be there. Let me check. But you could go to, let me just show you what the normal one looks like. This is the normal Fandango right now. Okay. But it's got a lot of stuff on it, a lot of videos, a lot of stuff. Okay. Back when the internet was slower, it was a problem. But you could go to mobile.fandango.com. See if it allows it. There you go. And it's so much easier. We didn't get all that ad crap. Okay. So I can very easily now just go into my movies and see a list of movies. So it's a much quicker content download than the regular website. So, But a lot of places now, they're finding out people are doing this, and what they do is, even if you select the mobile version on a PC, they'll still redirect you to the regular version. Like, no, you're not mobile. So it's kind of screwy the way they do that. Okay.
You don't know that. You could not be.
Yeah, they can get a general idea because some of the stuff is very hard. And actually, I don't know if they say it about in these slides, but a lot of times you can just add a meta tag to a page or something and make it display different content quite easily. Okay. All right. So you don't always know. Social engineering is another way. Hey, I played this awesome game. Check it out. You know, that kind. I was watching a kind of a documentary, not really but about infomercials. You all know what infomercials are. Okay. This company made a shampoo. It was all for a documentary. It wasn't a real product. But they brought people in off the street, paid them money to give testimonials about this shampoo. And the shampoo actually had, what's that pepper? It begins with C.
Cayenne.
Had cayenne pepper in it. So you would be washing your hair, and it would actually start to burn. It wasn't the point to harm the people. But they had people try out this shampoo, and then give an on-screen testimonial about how great it was. And it was just amazing, like, wow, it's amazing. You can feel it tingling. You can feel it was really cleaning well. It was really doing a great job cleaning my hair.
Just don't get it in your eyes.
Yeah, and when they were done, they're like, do you realize there was cayenne pepper in that shampoo? You just gave us a video documentary of how wonderful this product is. That is probably the worst shampoo on the entire market. But that's what happens. You know, social engineering, we rely on what other people say. We listen to them. We agree with them. Are they experts? Was that shampoo with cayenne pepper? No, that sucked. But it just...
But they get paid to say it's awesome.
And that's right. They paid them to give their feedback on. Has anyone ever gone to the mall? Back when there was malls around here. But you would do those quick check. People walk up and ask you questions. I used to do them all the time. I did it for deodorant. Man, I got like free deodorant for years. And razors.
They used to pay $5 across
Exactly.
the mall.
All the time. And ice cream. Man, they would ship ice cream to my house. Just answer a few questions about ice cream. It was all the time you get free stuff. But that's the same kind of deal. You know, they need to get people to try it. And you don't really know sometimes what the hell you're using. But sometimes it's good stuff.
So
But
does the ice cream come with listeria?
yeah, did it come? No, it was not Bluebell. So I don't know. Okay. All right. How about QR codes or math? You know, that's one thing. Y'all know what a QR code is. We all have QR code scanners. It's those little... I got one on the back of my business card, but you can scan it to get more information about the product and stuff like that. But what if it's bad stuff? You can have it automatically connect and download data off a website, so they could be bad. All right. Social engineering says the end user is the weakest link. You know, the guy who sits in the back of my office, I don't know if anyone's been in my office, Jeff Thompson. It's a new faculty member. He's temporary full-time. Sits in the back of my office. He never logs off his machine. I tell him, Jeff, you really need to log off your machine. Guess what? I came in this morning, guess what? Logged in again. It's like, what the hell? You know?
That's when you turn the screen upside down and all kinds of other stuff.
I know. Me and Roy and Cameron all that do each other. If we leave our machine locked or unlocked, I end up with pink backgrounds or...
Screen cap the desktop, move everything into the recycle bin.
We used to do that.
So, but I hate to do it like to Jeff because doesn't he know how to fix it? You know, a lot of times they'll do it like when I go to teach in a classroom when the faculty didn't log off. I'll make a quick picture that says whatever their name is does not know how to log off their machine, and I'll save it as a background. So next time they log on, it says Bob doesn't know how to log off his machine. But really, it's the end users. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. I used to take care of Chapel Supply. They sold pressure washers. And they used to drive me crazy because there was an accounting system. If you know anything about how accounting systems work, they open about 400 files at a time. They do. They open 1 million tables to work. Well, what they would do is, at night I would back those up. Well, they can't be backed up if they're in use because it's an in-use file. And so we had such an issue. But I'd watch some days. I'd go in there. They'd be in there working. 5 o'clock hit. Guess what happens?
Goodbye.
Lift their hands up, roll the chair back, and leave. And it's like, you're right in the middle of entering a purchase order. Oh, yeah, but I'm done. I'm off the clock now. And that's literally their mentality. I get paid till 5. That's it. And it's like, wow. They don't realize the problems they're causing. And we just have a lot of people who don't know. Okay? All right. So, Little security awareness. My mother-in-law knows not a damn thing about her phone. Okay. And again, cyber criminals are highly collaborative. They find a vulnerability somewhere, they share it with everybody. Okay. That's why there's a lot of these zero-day attacks. It's just crazy. Okay. They advertise free Wi-Fi portals. I was going to bring my phone up here today and just enable it as a free ad hoc network, but my battery died. So today was day 3, and I totally forgot to plug it in earlier this morning when I got here. And I'm like, crap. So it died. But people can just click and join these places. Free. You go to McDonald's. What if I was to create a free, another link called McDonald's and park outside in McDonald's parking lot? How many people connect to it? Quite a few. So it can be done quite easily.
So with the McDonald's Wi-Fi, you have to enter in like a passcode or something.
But what if I made one that didn't require that? And you happen to be, think about it. The Wi-Fi at a lot of those places suck. Okay, they're very slow. The signal's not great. So I sit maybe in the far corner of the restaurant. Wow, my signal's stronger, and I don't require login. People are going to connect into you. Okay. So captain portals, that's kind of like we have here at Rose State. Ours is legitimate, but it could be someone made one. It could be illegitimate. JavaScript to automatically do stuff to it. Okay, just all kinds of different problems there. Drive-by attacks involves injecting malicious code into websites to exploit browser vulnerabilities. Okay, if you know anything about making websites, they're very hard to make secure. And then again, that's secured with a username and password usually. So a lot of times the user device can be infected just by visiting a website. So it's pretty bad stuff. So this occur on hacked websites specifically created to launch an attack, or it could be on legitimate sites that weren't secure or were broken into. Way back when I worked at an ISP downtown, right when I got out of the military, it was funny. We made a deal. I was going to work 20 hours a week for whatever amount of money they were going to pay me. Well, I ended up working 40, 60, 80 hours a week. And they're like, finally I said, this is getting out of hand. Because I was their only guy working there. It was the accountant, the owners, and me. And I was only part-time, yet I was working many, many, many hours. Finally got to the point where I said, this is bullshit. You need to pay me full-time, or at least the number of hours I'm working, or we're done. So they didn't want to do that, so I quit. But then right then is when Code Red came out. Anyone remember the Code Red virus? It really wasn't bad. All it did was rename your main web page to say hacked by the Chinese. That's really all it was. They really didn't hurt your website at all. They just they renamed your main page to backup or something and put a new main page in there, hacked by Chinese. Well, they got infected like the day I quit. And they're like, oh crap, what are we going to do? So they called me. I'm like, not a problem, but I no longer work for you. If you'd like me to come fix it, first of all, you need to give me that back check for all these hours I worked. And I charge you $100 an hour to fix your problem. And they did it. They wrote me a check plus $100 an hour. I'm like, sweet. So I went up there, got the check. I said, I'll be back. I'm going to run to the bank real quick, deposit it, make sure it was a good check, and then I went back and fixed the problem. But that's what happens. You get a lot of legitimate websites get broke into. People don't know it. When I was at that thing Monday, a VIP Insurance, they're an insurance clearinghouse. Basically, they have insurance data that other insurance companies connect to and pull from. Well, he's like, we hired out someone to install a virus scanner. I said, okay. And he says, yeah, we hired them out to install it. I said, so who's maintaining it? He goes, that's my point. We don't have anybody. They literally have no IT. None. Whenever something needs to be done, they hire someone to come fix it. But there's that's not a good plan. Even when I did a lot of IT consulting, I always told them, I just take care of the Cox Center, the Marriott, the Ford Convention, what I guess now it's the Chesapeake Arena. I just take care of all their IT. But I kept telling them when they were growing, I says, dude, I am kind of like, call me to come and fix something. I'm not a full-time guy. You need to hire a full-time person. But VIP at the thing, money, they're like, we don't have anybody. Says, you need somebody. You desperately need an IT person. Because what if your website does get hacked? Or what if you do get a virus? You're not going to know about it until it's too late. So that's what happens with a lot of this stuff. Okay, clickjacking says, to confuse users by clicking on a web page or backgrounds with invisible frames. You can make frames that are invisible and actually overlay each other. So you might think you're clicking a certain picture, but you're really clicking something else, which sucks. Okay, and it says attacker superimposes another set of frames or buttons visible to the victim on top of the other ones, so you don't know what the hell you're clicking. And it says some mouse clips appear to be unresponsive, yet you're actually clicking something else. You've been to websites before where it's kind of doesn't quite work. You can't quite click the button. That's what we're talking about. How about like? Everybody like, the Facebook like button? They can actually put a frame on top of the like button. So when you think you're clicking the like button, you're actually clicking something to install the malware. And then what they do is they install the malware, then they click the like button for you. Pretty easy. And you can actually make websites auto-click buttons just by going there. It's quite simple to do. Okay? Usually used by smartphones because it's hard to see what the heck you're doing. Usually can't see the frames. Okay. Plug and play. It says small screens of smartphones makes it difficult to navigate. It is. Sometimes, you take an iPhone, and if you want to, I don't know how it works on Android, but if I want to make it bigger, I kind of pinch it and make it bigger.
It's the same.
Okay, same thing. But what happens if I don't pinch it correctly, just hit it with one finger instead of two? It's a click instead of a pinch. Now I'm activating the control. So I might be trying to expand the page, yet I'm actually clicking on the button. So, same kind of thing. There it is. JavaScript can cause any mouse click to activate different buttons. So they can make a frame, and if you click anywhere in this frame, it automatically activates the specific button. Way back when with malware, they used to have like yes or no, would you like to install it? Now don't click anything. Now it's all crap. Okay. It says if user inadvertently clicks the wrong place, easy to do, it causes malware scripts to run and install. Okay. All right, how can we fix this stuff? Due diligence. Aerospace Reports, a good client of mine back then. Excuse me. They would get viruses every now and then. And whenever they got one, that caused a big issue. So I finally got them trained where it says, you know what, if you see something you're not sure of, stop. Don't click anything. Just call me or turn your computer off. And that was great. Once they finally learned that thing, it was great. So, due diligence. Don't click it. Do your best to protect it. Using encrypted web pages is always a good idea. Have a decent antivirus software that's updated. Okay? Block pop-ups is another good one. Do you run a pop-up blocker? If you don't, you probably should. Ad Blocker Pro, I think, is what I use. Is that the good one out there?
Might be Ad Blocker Plus.
Okay, maybe Ad Blocker Plus. I use that. It works like a champ. I love it. It blocks pretty much everything. And if you want it, like I need it for some websites, have to allow pop-ups. It's very easy to click there and say allow pop-ups on this website. So it's very, very simple to use. Okay. Check your application's permissions. I know you can do it on developer mode on Android. Same with iPhone. You can go into the app and allow stuff or not. Remove unwanted crap. I do that all the time. That's a big issue. Like with Apple, we all use pretty much my account. So if I install something, it goes to all the devices on my account. If they install something, it goes to all the devices. I end up with all this crap. The kids will install something. I'm like, what the hell is this? Remove all the crap you don't want. Okay? Makes it quicker to back up, too. Okay. Switching off autofill dialog boxes, JavaScript. The problem with that is sometimes you need it. Certain websites you have to have cookies enabled. Certain websites you have to have JavaScript enabled. Okay? Also enabling fraud warnings. That's where your toolbar might change color if its certificate's invalid, stuff like that. And clear your cookies. Your browsing history, that's always a good idea as well. Okay, just about done here. Okay, how can we solve it? Ask people. It says, device of computers is to run anti-malware and antivirus software. Everybody should have something on. If you need something for Windows, get the Security Essentials from Windows. It's free. Or Windows Defender, whatever they call it on Windows 8. Okay. This problem on mobile devices is that their apps, like other apps, are restricted to their sandboxes. So if I install an antivirus on an iPhone, it really isn't that great because it can really only scan itself. So Android, they do work better on Android because they need them. They get the viruses. Okay. Security awareness training, obviously a big issue. Prohibit people from installing crap that's not certified, and get them from other places that aren't checked either. Okay. Prohibit the unlocking or jailbreaking of devices. A lot of people. Does anyone jailbreak their phone in here? No one's going to admit it? I don't. My son does all the time. What do you do with it? Well, nothing, but I can. Why?
My friend, he has his hijack, but he says he watches free movies.
Yeah, a lot of people do. You can go to Cydia, which is kind of like the App Store for free. You can get anything you want for free.
Yeah, he said he sees all the movies that come out the day of all the premieres. He gets those straight, and he actually hijacked his Apple thing too, so it goes straight to his Apple device as well.
A lot of them do it. I mean, that's fine, but again, if it gets infected, yeah, actually, there's a lot of websites out there where you can stream the latest movies that come out, but you got to watch where you click because you end up. We cleaned a laptop just the other day of one of the girls on campus here that did that. So, strict policies on mobile device management, another big deal. Okay, the whole bring your device. If the work provides the phone and they tell you don't jailbreak it, you should not jailbreak it. That's it. That's how it should work. But getting people to enforce, that's the tough issue. Passwords, controlling them. Controlling encryption. That was Roy the other day. He does not have his Rose State phone, does Rose email installed on his personal phone. Because on Android, you know how we talked about the permissions they want? I mean, it comes up. It wants the ability to wipe your phone, wants the ability to access USB, wants the ability to access your microphone, and it wants the ability to add everything, which it really doesn't need. And we were wondering, it's like, why did they require that? It's just like the question at the beginning of the lecture. But he won't install it. He's like, nope, I'm not going to install it. Now, the funny thing, on the iPhone, it doesn't ask for that stuff. So I don't know why. It doesn't want to access my camera and all that other stuff. So I don't know why it does on Android, though. Okay, security policies, 10 failed login attempts, all that stuff should be enabled. Okay. Develop an inventory and allow administrators access to those who require. We have an inventory here of tracking everything. But the problem is you only track stuff that costs $500 or more. Kind of sucks. These monitors cost less than $500, so guess what? They're not tracked at all. So you guys could steal a monitor today and we wouldn't... Nothing we can do about it. But I track the stuff anyway, especially the mobile devices. And what's an iPad cost? $200, $300? Rose State doesn't want to track it. But I said that's bogus. We need to track it. So, I end up doing that because the school won't do it. All right? Penetration test is recon scanning. It's kind of what you guys did. You were doing the whole scanning part to see what's out there. Then you could exploit from that point. We will not be doing any of that in here. Sorry about that. But that's kind of where you guys were at with this last project. Okay. Next class period, which is next Wednesday, I'll be telling you what you're doing for the final exam. I'm thinking about not having you taking a final exam. Just have you do some sort of a different project. So I will let you know more about it next week, and I think you'll be pleased with it. So I will go back and look at the questions of these last two and see what's up with them, because I know at least certificate we got a problem. So I think 92% of you got it wrong. So I'm assuming that's not right then if most everybody got it wrong. So all right, there we go.